Good day and welcome. This is going to be an introduction to Campaign Series Vietnam 1948 to 1967. Campaign Series Vietnam is a turn-based, tactical operational wargame that focuses on mid-20th century conflicts in Southeast Asia. These conflicts include the French in Indochina between 1948 and 1954, the South Vietnamese Civil War between 1955 and 1964, and then the U.S. involvement in South Vietnam from 1965 to 1967. Here you're looking at the interface that you will see after you've installed the game. There's the play button to access the game itself. There's the manual button to access the manual. The manual is fully interactive. You can select a topic and meander down to it. It's a fairly comprehensive manual. Not everything is covered, but at least 95% of what you can do with the game is covered, including how to mod, how to build your own scenarios, and so on. Additionally, you can use this button to check for the latest updates. You can also use the forum. This link here will take you directly to the forum, where you can see what is going on with a particular game and see if there's any intermittent updates or after action reports, anything, new scenarios. They will all be here on the forum. If you have questions or anything like that, that is an excellent place to put them, and we'll be happy to answer them. The support page takes you to the same place. Product page. This is where you can purchase the game, and gives a brief overview with the latest screenshots. If you do happen to find yourself in need of support, in some cases you'll be asked to provide the log files. You can easily find them through this tool up here. Click that, press on the open beside logs, and then just zip up your contents. Right click, zip, add to zip file, or add to log zip, or whatever tool that you use. I use WinZip. And then you will be able to post that on the forum, or we'll make arrangements to get that file from you. Here's a way to access the game folder. If you are playing play by email, you'll find your save files in here. You'll only need to send the BTE file. We'll explain that later. Alright. Let's open up the main menu for the game. Just going to skip through the intro video. And here's the main menu for the game itself. To access the scenarios, you can do so through this button here. And because we're the campaign series, we include a full suite of editors for you to make your own scenarios. You click this button to access the order of battle, organize editor. This is the map editor, and this is the scenario editor. Let's go into the play scenario. This gives you two options. You can start a new game or resume a saved game. There's multiple ways of playing. You can play hot seat against someone, you can play by email, you can play against the computer, or if you have a LAN, you can play, I believe, up to 8 players per side on a local area network. There are 4 low complexity scenarios called the boot camp scenarios. These will basically give you the how to play the game. I will go through and make videos for each of these so you can follow along as I play them. The rest of the scenarios after the boot camp, they start, right now they're organized by the file name, which identifies these as Indochina scenarios. This provides the date, and this is the location. You can see in the location where the particular battle takes place, and the sides and who's on each side. So this is a side A and side B scenario. Side A is France, side B is the Viet Minh. This provides you the title of the scenario and some information about the historical background of the scenario. There are codes explained what these actually mean within the manual. Feel free to take a look. There are 108 scenarios in total. You will see that many of the scenarios will be either side A or head-to-head. Some scenarios are also side B, where you want to play as the Viet Cong or whichever, but typically you're going to be wanting to play as the side A player, whether that be ARVN, Australian, American, etc. You'll want to read through the briefing just to get a good background about what the whole scenario is all about. At the end of the list, through all the historical scenarios, there is a set of tournament scenarios that is designed for head-to-head play. These are completely fictional and deal with a US versus Chinese engagement. Let's open up a scenario just to take a look at the general screen and whatnot. Here is the first thing you're going to be requested to do. This is a boot camp scenario, so we would select the manual player as side A, and we're going to have the computer with Fog of War included. There are optional rules under here, and there's a wide variety of them. If you are familiar with the series, you'll see that there are new rules. I'll go through these in detail when I play this particular scenario. Right now I'm just giving you an overview of what to expect. This is the scenario briefing for your side. This will be vital that you read through this and understand the messages that are being given to you in this in order to win this scenario. Things won't be spelled out for you in detail. You'll have to kind of read between the lines in some cases, and depending on the situation or the scenario that you're playing, this briefing may change partway through the scenario depending on the tactical situation. This will give you the situation about what is going on in the particular scenario, as well as a listing of the friendly forces and maybe some intelligence on the enemy forces. It will provide you with what tasks you need to be doing in order to fulfill the victory conditions for this particular scenario. It'll give you a hint on how to execute it. It'll tell you some political information, administration information, as well as the command and control and whatnot. For these boot camp scenarios, we also tell you how to what to do for the first turn. Press OK, press there. I would highly recommend accessing the manual through the help menu and go to the bootcamp tutorials and follow along here if you have the space. You can read through this and literally do what I'm doing. I've written this out so you can read through it turn by turn. Anyways, back to the game. Here's the new interface. It looks familiar, but notice some significant changes. One, the toolbar. The toolbar has changed significantly than what it used to be. Before, you would have all the buttons available, which could be overwhelming, especially if you're new to the series. Now we have organized them into the most common, the typical combat buttons, the air buttons, engineer-related buttons, highlight options, map options, buttons related to units, and general information. Also, and keep in mind that all these buttons all have a hotkey associated to them. So if you don't want to be using the buttons, you can figure out what the hotkey button is and use those. I use a mix depending on what I'm doing. There are now 9 zoom levels within the game. I will run through them right now. This is 3D zoom 1, 3D zoom 2, 3D zoom 3, 3D zoom 4, and then 2D zoom 1, 2D zoom 2, 2D zoom 3, 2D zoom 4. Oh, that's 4. And this is 2D zoom 5. There's also the jump map if you want to move around. So if I'm in zoom level 1, for example, and I click on the jump map, and I can move to anywhere else on the map just by the click. There are also a number of different options for display. If you don't want to even show the toolbar, you can do so. You can change the size of the toolbar to large, or you can just remove it altogether. Under options, toolbar, here are your options here. I usually play with standard. You can also turn off the color if you prefer to have a monochrome. It gives everything monochrome at the bottom. I prefer color because it's visually easier for me to see. You can change how things are highlighted. You can change if you prefer hex shading, like so, for visibility. Notice how everything is shaded. Or if you prefer to have everything with outlines, you can do that. You can set up the interface now any way you wish, basically. This unit list, you can switch to the other side if you wish. Position, left, or position, right. You can change the unit bases if you wish, under the options. Oh, sorry. So these are the standard bases, but there's also the alternate, which are a little more visually pleasing. In 2D, you can change from 3D icons to NATO. If you prefer NATO. And you can change the background if you wish. From standard to just plain colored chits to the stylized ones. You can quickly access the map labels by pressing the label button. You can also see map hints. That's what this button is here, and it tells you the hex side information. So these are a river. This is a path. This is a path. This is a medium bridge. These are unpaved roads, and so on. And you can turn them off. That is something that is very useful to do, especially when the terrain is difficult to see. If you're playing in 3D, for example, you know there's something kind of there, but you're not really sure what it is. You can press the map hint buttons, and it'll tell you what they are. Where there's a path, where there's a crossing, if there's a crossing, etc. Alright, there we go. That is a simple introduction to the game. I will continue the series just to give you an idea of what to expect. Feel free to ask any questions, and I will continue making these videos to help you understand what the game is all about. Thank you for watching. Take care. Good luck.